Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we're taking a look at some very fun battles against viewers of the channel in the Mega Master League. Now, of course, the Mega Master League is not a league that's actually in rotation right now, but I had prepared a couple teams, so I figured today, let's check out one of the undisputed GOATs of the format, and that is Mega Garchomp. Mega Garchomp has absolutely absurd stats, a combat power over 6,000, and has play into just about anything that can be encountered. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches. And we have a battle of Megas in the first match, Mega Garchomp versus Mega Salamence. And right off the bat, these Dragon Tails are shredding on both sides here. The opponent is going to go for the fly, and Garchomp is going to take a full massive farm down. Opponent now going to send out a Duskmane, but Duskmane's going to be hit with back-to-back Sand Tombs here. This does also threaten an Earth Power. We do see a shield and a switch by the opponent. They are going to save that Duskmane for later and make a Sand Tomb catch onto Shadow Rhyperior. Shadow Rhyperior now going to be answered with Zacian. Shadow Rock Wrecker hits for extreme damage, but Zacian does have enough bulk to withstand the damage and the Mud Slap after to make it to a close combat. Close combat would pick up the KO from this health range, so the opponent is going to give up a shield. As long as they're not running the moves that I'm running on Rhyperior, which is Surf, I am in a winning position, because I'll be able to save the shield for the move from Duskmane. Rock Wrecker is going to connect. There's some pretty significant damage. Unfortunately, an overtap there on my board means I do accidentally throw on alignment. Rock Wrecker connects. That is some serious damage. Opponent, they are on Psycho Cut, so they do have faster energy generation, but they don't have a lot of fast move pressure, but not fast enough. They don't get the back-to-back, and I'm able to farm down and take the win. Mega Garchomp versus Mega Rayquaza. This time I am going to switch out. I do think that Mega Garchomp could be valuable in the back, and I know that Rayquaza is able to outpace. It's straight forward a Breaking Swipe, so I save switch into Zacian, and my opponent stays in, commits a shield, and now they are going to switch out and send in Xerneas. Xerneas not going to appreciate the amount of energy Zacian already has. Zacian getting to fire off back-to-back Wild Charges. This Wild Charge will not knock out, but it is going to get the opponent quite low. Oh, they actually end up double shielding. I'm now just going to send in Rhyperior and fully trust in the fact that if I more or less throw away the Rhyperior, then I should be in a good position for Mega Garchomp to sweep in the endgame. So I'm just going to let this go. Close combat is going to pick up the knockout. I send back in the Zacian. Out comes Mega Rayquaza, and now I have a difficult choice to make. I call the bait. Oh, they're on Ancient Power. Oh my goodness. I was fully expecting Dragon Ascent, but they're on Ancient Power. That almost knocked out. I get to land a Wild Charge. The quick switch to Mega Garchomp, and we get the farm down. What do they have in the back? I have Mega Garchomp and 2 shields. In the back, oh no, it's an Ice Fang Zamazenta. Zamazenta looking for the farm down, but they don't get there. The Outrage is reached. I need this to one-shot, and it does. That damage is absurd. In comes Xerneas. Xerneas will not farm down either. Mega Garchomp, absolute demon. Oh my goodness, getting the 2 shield flex as well as we clutch an improbable win. We have Mega Garchomp versus Duskmane in the next match. Duskmane is going to farm up quite a bit, and I decide to overfarm to at the very least threaten a potential Earth Power. Sand Tomb will hit for super effective, but it would not be enough to pick up the knockout. So I decide I'm at least going to try and bluff that I have the nuke. My opponent is not going to fall forward whatsoever. They send in Dialga, and here I do make a misplay. I shouldn't throw the Sand Tomb. What I should do is just save the energy and then bring in Rhyperior, because Rhyperior can one-shield farm down anyway. So I realistically, if I can one-shield farm down without the Sand Tomb, there was not a point in throwing it. So that was extremely inefficient use of energy on my part. Also because I still haven't seen their Mega, which means their Mega is going to have 2 shields to hide behind. In comes Duskmane. Duskmane immediately answered with a Surf. Surf is going to be shielded, but I'm able to... No, I'm not. I thought I was getting to the Surf, but my opponent's able to outpace. Thankfully, it is just a Dark Pulse. In the back, my opponent has their own Mega Garchomp. I'm going to go for the Rock Wrecker here. It's resisted, but it will do slightly more damage if I'm not mistaken. And now I get to send in Zacian. Zacian double resisting these Dragon Tails is very, very valuable. And now we'll see, do they have Earth Power? If they do, it's going to inflict massive damage. And they do. Zacian gets rocked, but is able to hang on. Zacian at the back-to-back close combats. First one is going to be shielded. Opponent waits and tries to go for a catch, but thankfully, I'm able to watch for it. they bring back in their own Mega Garchomp, but I get to the Sand Tomb, and Garchomp, I really love the shiny as well. It's just completely taking over these games. Oh my goodness. Mega Garchomp versus Zarude in the next match. And Zarude's very, very bulky. If you've ever played it against it in the Master League, this thing tanks neutral hits, but Mega Garchomp is a whole new animal. These Dragon Tails shredding through. Opponent is going to switch out into Primal Groudon. They shield the Outrage. I can send in Rhyperior because I have a move that Primal Groudon might not know about, and that is Surf. Surf is double super effective onto Primal Groudon. It connects, but this is a Primal Groudon. Double super effective move, no problem. It tanks it, returns fire with the Precipice Blades, and that's going to one-shot Rhyperior. But I pretty intentionally wanted to save the shield. And in the back, they do have Nihilego. Nihilego is uncomfortable, but I think with 2 shields, Garchomp should be able to close out this game. In comes Garchomp, Zarude. Oh, accidentally mistimes it, and I do get a Dragon Tail for free. Power Whip is going to be shielded, and now Garchomp is going to get a huge farm down. In comes Nihilego, but Nihilego's pacing is not the fastest. I'm so close to getting KO'd here, but I'm even closer to the back-to-back Sand Tombs. Sand Tomb is double super effective. Nihilego shields the first, hoping for the farm down, but it's not to be. Sand Tomb number 2 knocks out Nihilego, and that's a good game. Great lead in the next match. Mega Garchomp going up against Giratina. And the Giratina is staying in this matchup. If they're staying in, then it appears they do not have a great answer for a Mega Garchomp. Shadow Ball is going to be shielded. They're now going to send in a Mega Blaziken. Blaziken, definitely one of these spicier Megas, but if this is their best answer to Garchomp, then Garchomp is about to go on an absolute rampage. Garchomp already Sand Tombed once. This Sand Tomb will easily knock out. Opponent double shields. And I'm more than happy to shield the Garchomp. Garchomp is fully off to the races at this point. That is a brave bird. I am thrilled that I ended up shielding that. And now are they going to bring back in the Giratina? The answer is yes. Giratina trying to get to a move. It's not going to get there. It's Thunderous in the back. So the opponent bringing out a pretty spicy team, but unfortunately, they just get fully 1v3'd. No other Pokemon switched in. Mega Garchomp, my goodness. Mega Garchomp versus Salamence in the next match. I am going to try switching out this time. I know that I can stay in and one shield farm down, but I'm deciding to play it a little aggressively. Here, going up against the Dawn Wings, I wait till the last second. I almost called a bait, and my initial instinct was correct. I definitely should have no-shielded there, as calling that bait would have put me in a tremendously good spot. Wild Charge is going to be shielded by the opponent, but a miscount. The opponent accidentally overfarms too much. That's going to let me get to a Wild Charge. I can't concede the farm down here. The farm down would put me in a lot of trouble, so I'm forced to pivot out into Rhyperior and shield, as they have no reason to not go for the Moongeist. Zacian hits the field, and Zacian, even in the zeros, is honestly not bad for Rhyperior at all, because one charge attack does not knock out, and they are not running close combat. Even if they had it, it is very survivable. And this Rock Wrecker is going to inflict serious damage. Rock Wrecker connects, getting the farm down. I have so much energy loaded. What are they going to bring in here? Whatever they do, it's going to take huge damage from Rock Wrecker. It's going to be Mega Salamence. Mega Salamence can probably actually hang on here, and it does. There's the switch to Garchomp, sniping with the Dragon Tails. Back in comes Dawn Wings. Dawn Wings does not get to the Moongeist Beam. I really would have liked to see if a Moongeist would have KO'd, but knowing it's Mega Garchomp, my guess is it could have held on, even despite that damage. We've got mirror leads in the next match, Garchomp versus Garchomp. These Dragon Tails adding up quite significantly. I decided to just go straight for the Sand Tomb. I'm expecting my opponent will commit to the Outrage, but even a Sand Tomb will inflict some damage. Opponent tries for the farm down, but disaster strikes, as unfortunately, my debuff meant that we actually KO'd there simultaneously, and now being up a shield, I should just be in a completely winning position. Farming up a lot with Rhyperior. Opponent desperate to get damage off, does throw on alignment. They're on Iron Head on the Dawn Wings. Dawn Wings and Duskmane both have incredibly versatile movesets. Iron Head is a very cool pick. In the back is going to be Mewtwo. I'm farming up a ton with the Rhyperior. I should tank any one move here from the Mewtwo. Mewtwo goes for a Psy Strike, but Rhyperior just too bulky. Able to hang on, fire off this Rock Wrecker. That's going to pick up the KO. In comes the Dawn Wings, and Zacian just gets the battle off. We had that previous battle where Garchomp 1v3'd, and now in this battle, Mega Chomp and Rhyperior get to 2v3. Great lead in the next match, leading Garchomp into Palkia. Palkia staying in and getting deleted by Dragon Tails. This is only enough for an Aqua Tail, so this is a pretty easy no shield. The opponent is going to switch out. They safe swap a Kartana, which is an insane play against almost every team, but unfortunately my backline is really weak to Kartana. If they're safe switching a Kartana, I'm worried it's another grass type in the back, so I'm actually going to bring in Rhyperior and just fully sacrifice the Rhyperior. At this point, I'm expecting that if it's another grass, like Zarude, then I'm going to need my Zacian. Although I haven't seen their Mega, so it could be a Mega Grass type, but no, I'm completely off. That is not a Mega Grass type. That is going to be a Mega Rayquaza. They're going to switch into the Palkia. They know I can't get a farm down here, so I am forced to fire off energy. Now I am debuffed, and Rayquaza is going to start spamming out moves. Unfortunately, because I'm debuffed, Breaking Swipe will actually add up here. I'm able to farm up to the back-to-back Wild Charges. Wild Charge is going to be guaranteed to grab the shield from the opponent. I try for a catch. The catch attempt is unsuccessful, but I get the Rock Wrecker. Rock Wrecker is going to force the final shield. They have a ton of energy, and now this game all comes down to this, a true 50-50. I call the bait. It's the Dragon Ascent, and unfortunately, we lose a very close game. We got a dream lead in the next match, Mega Garchomp against Mega Tyranitar, and they're not switching out. So it means that somewhere in the back, they have something that does not want to see Mega Garchomp, which, to be fair, is most of the Mega Master League. They're going to go for a brutal swing. Garchomp, with a very comfortable no-shield opponent, is now going to safe switch into Zacian. I'm going to look to bank a ton of energy on Mega Garchomp, and then just look to bring in my Zacian. I'm very comfortable completely losing this matchup. I am running Best Buddy on the Zacian, so I will be able to win the CMP tie over my opponent. This Wild Charge will not knock out, but that's actually better for me, because I don't want to win Switch. Instead, I want to double resisted Dragon Tail farm down with Mega Garchomp. In the back, they have Mewtwo, and no baits here. Going straight for the Outrage into the Mewtwo. Massive damage. They're forced to switch out into Mega Tyranitar, and Mega Tyranitar is going to be met with the Sand Tomb. They have to shield and hope for a farm down, but guess what? Mega Garchomp will not be denied, making it to another Sand Tomb. We're going to take the win after farming down the Mewtwo and get a 2-shield flex as well. Picking up an uncomfortable lead in the next match, Mega Garchomp into Mega Lucario. Or at least I thought it was going to be an uncomfortable lead until I saw how much damage my Dragon Tails were doing. The difference in combat power here is just everything. Garchomp has like 2,000 more CP, so it's just absolutely crushing this poor Lucario. Opponent sends in Dialga, and I make the same mistake that I made earlier. Throwing a Sand Tomb here is pointless, because it's not going to reduce the amount of charge attacks that Dialga makes, so what I should do is just save the Sand Tomb and then send in Rhyperior. That would be the far better play pattern. In this instance, I am able to tank the Iron Head and get a farm down. I do exit pretty low, though. My opponent is going to send in Lucario, and I will just full send the Rock Wrecker. Rock Wrecker is going to land. The Mud Slap is going to pick up the KO. In the back is Duskmane, and I think I'm in a pretty decent position. I'm now going to send in Zacian. I have energy available on the Garchomp, so I should be in a pretty okay position. My winning play is to Wild Charge and then to No Shield, because if I No Shield a Dark Pulse, I live. If I No Shield a Sunsteel, they're not going to outpace, but they have Iron Head, and that specifically is the one moveset that I'm not going to be able to beat. Iron Head, the pacing on it is faster than Sunsteel Strike. So had they gone for the Sunsteel Strike, I would have been in a pretty nice spot. I could have Sand Tombed and then gone for a farm down. But with Iron Head, they are actually able to get to a second Iron Head, KO the Garchomp, and unfortunately, we do lose the game. Hopping into the final match, and Duskmane returns once again, and I'm leading into Garchomp as per usual. Garchomp striking first with the Sand Tomb. This time I'm not even bothering to build up and bait and Earth Power. I just want damage on the Duskmane, and Duskmane is going to let that damage through, and they are already almost in the red health off of resisted Dragon Tails and one Sand Tomb. It's an Iron Head bait. They're going to send out Palkia, and I'm not baiting. I'm full sending here. I want to pick up a shield or pick up the KO. They do end up committing the shield. Opponent tries for a farm down, but Garchomp will not be denied. Garchomp took a shield and fully farmed them down, and I had already taken quite a bit of damage from the Duskmane. I send in Rhyperior, they land the Iron Head, I'm able to get the farm down, and in the back, my opponent has their own Mega Garchomp. I'm only getting to one move, I don't have Breaking Swipe, so I am just going to fire off the Resisted Rock Wrecker, because the Rock Wrecker plus the few Mud Slaps that I was able to get do actually add up, and now they're approaching a range where I can potentially land in close combat. We saw earlier, even if it's the Earth Power, I can survive it. It is going to be a Sand Tomb from my opponent. They're going to fire off another charge attack, and I will end up shielding this one. I don't have to shield the Sand Tomb, but I know that I will just strictly be able to outpace here. So now I'm one off the back-to-back close combats. Close combat number 1 into the Garchomp is going to be shielded. I get close combat number 2, and if this doesn't knock out, then I can just switch into my own Garchomp. Close combat does actually pick up the KO, and that battle will end in victory. All in all, I had a tremendous amount of fun battling viewers with this team, so many thanks to the viewers who did participate. Mega Masters, I really hope they're able to fix the bug and add it to the schedule next season, because it's something that I was really looking forward to. And Master Premier, I played one game of it, and I just don't think it's for me. Under other circumstances, I would probably be more hyped for Master Premier, but in this particular instance, knowing what we could have had, to me the Mega Master League is far and away superior to Master Premier. So knowing what we could have had just makes it feel very bittersweet. I think this will probably be the final Mega video that I'll post for the season, and I'll go back to just posting open Great League teams. In these last final few days of the season, I'm going to make a push to try and end on the global leaderboards. Despite the fact that I pretty routinely make the upper half of page 1 on the leaderboards of top 25 in the world, I've never actually ended a season with my account in the global leaderboards. More often than not, I end up tanking, trying fun stuff, or I will tank down to Legend Elo and try and give Freelo away on the final day of the season. But this season, I think I'm going to try for it. So I'm going to go back to posting Open Great League for the remainder of, well, I said the remainder of the season, but it's basically the last few days up until the new season begins on March the 4th. So hopefully there'll be some good Open Great League teams headed your way shortly. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please do leave a like on the video. It helps the channel a tremendous amount. And a special thank you as always to our channel members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is genuinely so appreciated. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.